Today I'm going to be explaining to you guys how I grew a new secret YouTube channel from 0 views to 5 million views in just 50 days. But I want to explain it in a way that you guys can replicate for yourself. On this channel I made 36 videos in total, and over 80% of them have over 100,000 views. In fact, YouTube hasn't even created a number in the analytics to quantify this much growth so quickly. All we know is that it's over 9999. Now the reason this channel was a secret is because I wanted to see if I could start again from scratch after 10 years of experience here on YouTube. And I did this pretty much exclusively using YouTube Shorts, but I was pretty damn late to the party, having only started this new channel a couple of months ago. In fact, if you typed in hashtag YouTube Shorts 30 days ago, this is what would happen. You would have seen that there's 4.6 million videos and they were uploaded by 0.6 million channels, which means it's a pretty damn competitive scene. In fact, if you type in hashtag YouTube Shorts right now, there are 12 million videos and there's 1.6 million channels uploading them in 30 days. It's doubled in 30 days. That's nuts. This is the most competitive scene on YouTube. A lot of people are calling it a hack, and in some ways it is, but your content needs to be good to actually show up on YouTube Short. And by the way, these are only the Shorts videos that have hashtag Shorts on them. There are much more videos than this. So how exactly can you be successful doing YouTube Shorts? Well, let's take a quick look at the YouTube algorithm so I can explain to you why videos are successful, and then I can show you how to replicate that and how I've done it, showing you some examples. This is the YouTube algorithm. YouTubers like Mr. Beast have already proven that click-through and how long someone watches the video, the average view duration, are the only things that really matter on YouTube, because that basically tells YouTube that this content is good, and YouTube wants you to click on a video and stay on the platform. So any video that does this means it's good, so it gets views. It's as simple as that. Don't overcomplicate it. Every single video you upload to YouTube looks like this. You make the video, it gets promoted to a small audience. Subscribers don't matter anymore. You can have a lot of subscribers, but if they're not watching your videos continuously, YouTube will just stop suggesting them to them. So you make a video, it gets promoted to a small audience. If that audience likes the video, it then gets promoted to a bigger audience. If they all like the video and that retention stays there and the click-through still happening, it gets promoted to an even bigger audience, and that's when your video goes viral. If you can do this with every video, then you've broken the YouTube algorithm, and that is as simple as it is. Making the content interesting is the hardest part though. Engagement is also really important. We have comments, likes, and subscribers. Engagement is good, but you can literally turn off comments on a video and still have it go viral. So clearly, engagement, while important, yes, while building an audience, great, but it's not the be all and end all of YouTube. Don't get too obsessed by it. The most important thing is still click through and watch time. Those are the things that matter. These still have an effect, but get the first thing right first. So what can we learn from this? Well, clickbait thumbnails do work. However, you need to keep your viewers' retention instantly as soon as they click on that video, as long as possible. Mr. Beast, for example, does this really well by having constant cuts and jumps between different types of content and bombarding you with lots of amounts of information and interesting things going on. So what about YouTube Shorts? They actually work a little bit differently, because over 60% of you are watching on your mobile phone right now. Even my long form content on my main channel, like this video, 60% of you watch on mobile. So Shorts are developed precisely for mobile users. And considering everyone has a phone, that's pretty powerful. Now, if you guys take a look at my mobile phone, you can see this is the YouTube app. And if I go and scroll down, you will come across the Shorts beta page. This is specifically designed for mobile users, which is 60% of you watching. The majority of people watching content on YouTube are mobile users. And that's even my own main content on my main channel. But this content is specifically designed for mobile users. And when you upload this content, you can just flick through lots of different types of shorts that other people have made. So it's a really nice way to consume content on YouTube. But as a creator, we only have influence over certain things because YouTube will actually randomly generate a thumbnail just based on the content within the video. So you have no control over that. The only thing you as a creator has control over with the YouTube Shorts video is the title. That's how you get people to click. So your title is super important. So in my own testing of YouTube Shorts, I optimized one title for SEO and another title for emotive response, and this is what happened. So the SEO one was titled Dark Souls Best Weapon Early Location for Strength Build. The emotional one was titled Why This Is Actually the Best Weapon in Dark Souls. Based off the title alone, which one would you rather click? And apparently these titles work because I have 5.5 million impressions on this channel, which led to 6.3 million views with a click-through rate of 7.4%. So now we've covered how to drive clicks, let's talk about watch time. Now since we're talking about shorts here, watch time is a really hard thing for YouTube to track because shorts can only be between 0 seconds and 59 seconds. Anything longer can't appear on the shorts shelf. So instead, what YouTube tracks with shorts is retention. The higher the retention, the more viral videos you're going to get. And since 80% of the content of the 36 videos I made on that channel have over 100,000 views, I would say that it's kind of foolproof, really. So on this graph I've drawn, this is audience retention over time. And usually on any video on YouTube, audience retention goes down with time because what you were saying wasn't really interesting enough, so most viewers click off. Usually above 80% retention. A video that does not go viral will have below that. So the next question from this is, how long should a video be? I would say between 10 seconds and 59 seconds. But beyond that, time doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter how long a video is. In fact, I've actually tested this extensively, and I found that the length of your short video does not matter at all. I've had videos which are 11 seconds long, which have over 300,000 views, and then my longest video, which is 40 seconds long, and that also now has over 300,000 views. And I've done this repeatedly. The duration of your shorts videos do not matter, but I would argue that shorter videos are easier to get to go viral simply because it's easier to have a longer retention over a shorter video because you don't have to entertain people for as long a time. The next thing we're going to be looking at is content of your video. No matter what kind of content you're making on YouTube, this is the recipe for success. I call this the viral storyteller, and it's literally existed since the beginning of time when we started writing books. This is a video timeline. Every video you make is going to start out with a hook or a promise or some kind of question that you're going to be answering for the duration of that video, something to captivate the viewer. This could quite literally be the same thing as your title. I'll give you an example in a moment. The actual beef of the video is going to be the story. Like, how do you answer the question? And finally, we get to the ending, the conclusion, the result. And it's really important after you give the audience that conclusion that you just cut off the video. That's it. That's the end. You don't need to go like and subscribe for more content like this. No, you just cut the video. They've got what they wanted and what they came for. It's a mistake not to do that, and I'll show you why in this example. Have you ever found yourself clicking on a video and then skipping to the end just to see what happened? That's an example of a great hook. But now let's take a look at an example on my channel so I can actually show you what I'm talking about. Let's start with a good example. The title of this video is Skyrim Facts, Bow and Arrows versus Surfaces. You know exactly what you're going to get before you click on it, and it sounds kind of interesting. Did you ever notice how arrows in Skyrim are super realistic? So I started the video off there with that key question. That was the promise.
They actually get stuck in soft things like cheese, wood, enemies, and even the earth, but they'll actually bounce off hard objects such as stone, metal pots, or rocks, and their power is even absorbed by getting fired into water. Also, if you don't pull back the bow far enough, the arrow won't penetrate soft objects. I then showed the experiment, and you'll notice that I'm spamming the viewer with lots of information even faster than the clips I'm showing on the screen. The cuts between scenes hold viewers' retention, and I'm also already delivering on my initial promise that I made at the start of the video. Immersive, right? I answered the question that I posed the viewer at the start of the video by just saying, yeah, arrows are pretty realistic in Skyrim, and then I cut it straight after that because I delivered on what I promised in the start of the video. And if you look at the average percentage viewed, it's actually 95%, or 18 seconds out of 20 seconds. And I actually do this with every video on my channel apart from a few test ones, where I'm just showing some funny gaming clips and encounters, and those test videos don't actually do as well because I'm not using this viral storyteller format. So let's take a look at one of those which only got 20,000 views. This is actually the worst video on my channel. The title though I'm kind of happy with. This Skyrim NPC was left speechless after I finished. Let's watch it all the way through and you guys can tell me what you think.
Got some good pieces out here if you're looking to buy. Don't forget to check inside the shop if you need anything.
So after the first 10 seconds, I already delivered on the promise of my hook that I made at the start of the video about this NPC's reaction. And as soon as the viewers saw that, halfway through the video, most of them started to click off. I lost like 40% of my audience. As you can see in the analytics, the viewer's retention is lost after 10 seconds because I give the viewer what they were waiting for. So the key to getting 100% audience retention is to cut the video as soon as you fulfill the promise, and obviously put that at the end of the video. But also make sure the video is only as long as it needs to be. Now, before I tell you guys how to get started yourself, I just want to quickly address that this method doesn't just work for YouTube Shorts. In fact, I also did this on another platform. I use this exact same method, and if I go to my analytics, last 60 days, you can see I've achieved 8 million views in 60 days on this platform, which is absolutely nuts. So clearly this works for content on any social media website that you can experience organic growth. As good as this platform is, I do think that compared to YouTube, it's not as good because while your content does gain instant gratification, the algorithm is such that you'll get tons of views initially, but then the video just has a very short lifespan when compared to YouTube. Whereas your content on YouTube, there's like, you guys know that it's like 4-year-old videos will still get suggested to you and be successful. Whereas say for example, this video right here, I think that has like 300,000 views now, but it's not really gaining any more traction since then. So YouTube is definitely the way to go for longevity. But if you want to test out content, this is a fantastic platform to do it on because you'll be able to tell quite quickly whether your content sucks or not. So now let me get on to how you guys actually get started doing this yourself. This is the strategy to get started. Firstly, you're going to pick whatever your favorite game is. Obviously, I think games that are super popular like Minecraft. Pick your favorite game that you know something about and then come up with 30 ideas. Just 30 ideas that you think are kind of interesting about that game, or even 30 facts if you can't come up with just ideas. And then you're going to write compelling titles for each one of those facts, and you're going to write like information about each one of them and just sort of expand on that video topic. And then you're going to come up with a hook, a story, and a conclusion for each one of those titles and video ideas that you just came up with. And that's literally what I've been doing. But now, really important for me just to mention to you guys not to get disheartened, because it is a slow snowball that you're rolling down the hill here. It does pick up speed eventually, but even if your content's really good and you know it's good, it still takes time to get to that point. So now let me show you my YouTube analytics so you can see how long it took me to get to this point where I actually saw some kind of success. So bear in mind, when I started this, I had the advantage of understanding my gaming niche, but even then my first video sat at 4 views for for around 30 days before it gained any kind of traction. It just looked like that video hadn't entered the algorithm, no one had watched it. It was really strange. And don't forget, you're competing against 12 million other people. So if your content's not really good, every video you upload needs to be really good, because otherwise you might get lucky with a few of them, yes. But if you want to have consistent, rapid increase in viewership and performance, each one of those shorts videos needs to be on point. Interestingly, some of my videos actually at the start did get into the shorts shelf, and they jumped up to like 1,000 or 3,000 views or so in just a matter of days overnight. But they then flatlined and got like no views for another week, and then suddenly they like jumped up again. And that was because YouTube, the algorithm, was trying to find my video an audience. And even though I knew it was a good video because I'd had success with it on other social media platforms, sometimes even getting like 300,000 views and going viral elsewhere on the internet, I knew that YouTube just needed to figure out an audience for this channel. And now it's starting to do that after 30 days, as you can see. I'm actually starting to pick up some kind of pace and momentum. I mean, you can really see if you look at the 50-day lifespan of this channel that it only started to gain traction in the last 20 days, like a snowball. You'll also notice that I uploaded once a day and every other day. But I can tell you from the last 10 years of experience on YouTube that consistency doesn't matter. Consistency is important if you're building an audience and you want a continuous stream of people to come back to your videos every now and again or watch your live streams and something like that. But consistency on YouTube for the sake of going viral or having successful videos doesn't matter. Now, if you guys follow my main channel, I don't actually follow that advice myself. I kind of just play what I want to play and enjoy what I want to enjoy and share with you, and try not to get too obsessive over the YouTube algorithm, but I'm just telling you the facts of how it is. I think the key stats to ultimately remember are click-through rate and watch time. Those are the only two stats that actually really matter. As long as you look at your analytics and these two things are really good, with 80% retention or more on YouTube Shorts, your video will eventually go viral. And if those things stay there and that retention stays there, it will just carry on picking up like a snowball, like my channel currently is, where I'm making YouTube Shorts. And it's really as simple as that. So I wish you luck, my friends. That is how YouTube works.